Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, what it do, what it do, what it do. Welcome to episode 39 of the Access to Combat podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Ray Boogie Kahuna, my co-host.
Hugo the boss, Hugo got next. You already know. And before we get into any of that business, we're gonna stand on our business. Like, follow, subscribe, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody watching the visuals right now, like, comment, hit the notification bell, stay up to date. Don't forget to subscribe.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know. And before we get into this UFC, what is it,
296, baby.
296 card, which is a very stacked card.
This is in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to recap some bets. I'll jump into mine very quickly. A lot of it's going to sound like losses, guys, but the unit size is how you differentiate this. A lot of long shot bets I'm going to call out. So let's just run through this real quick. Alencar sub round one and two. Dos Santos knockout round 3. Costa sub. Park round 2. Park round 3. Roundtree knockout round 1, round 2. Barely lost, like not even a unit on that, to be frank, if you add it all up. I had two long shot parlays. Tyra decision, Santos decision, Park decision, Yadong decision. That was huge money. Even though Park won that fight, but we'll get into that in a few minutes.
God, they fleeced the Iron Turtle, boy.
Tyra Hernandez, Santos, Edgar, Muniz, Park, Yadong, Gutierrez, fight to go the distance. Hit on 3 of them, missed 1. And to get into some of the bets we did lose, the parlays that weren't long shots. Hernandez, Tyra, Muniz, Park over a round and a half, both fights. Edgar, Santos, Malarkey, Hassarat over 2.5 rounds. Hernandez, Tyra, and then both of those parlays combined into one. Missed on that one, obviously, because we got blown up in 2 spots. And then I had Tyra decision, Park decision. Unfortunately, that was a loss.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
And then for my hits, which we put the correct amount of unit sizes on it. That's why I didn't have a terrible losing night, which is great. This is between MMA and boxing. Santos decision, Yadong decision. And then I had a parlay with Zayas knockout, Haney decision, and Yadong moneyline.
Payday. You want payday.
Finished about half a unit down. It's all good. Like just half a unit on all of that. Beautiful. I'm a very happy man. Like I told you guys last week on that card, very dangerous card to bet on. Bankroll management, very important. Took some shots, didn't pan out. We would have had a positive night if Park hit the fucking decision, which he won the fight.
He hit the decision.
Yeah. We got fleeced.
Judges were just all over in the pockets.
We got fleeced. So
all over the pockets.
We apologize. We would have had a winning night if that was what it was. But, this is what happens when you bet decision fights. You get fleeced by the judging. But anyway, on to you, my brother.
All right. I'll start with the long shots I took as well. Let's see. I got Alencar sub. Took that straight. Alencar round 2 and 3. I was heavy on Alencar. Santos KO TKO. Costa sub. Park round 2 and Park round 3. Roundtree KO round 1. Roundtree KO round 2. Parlays we got here. Decision parlay with Tyra, Santos, Park, and Yadong. And then had a fight go to distance parlay with the Tyra Hernandez, Santos Edgar, Muniz Park, and Yadong Gutierrez. So kind of similar to my brother here. 2 other parlays I took. I took another parlay that my brother didn't take. Kenan Song and Suma Durji money lines. Got clapped on that one.
Suma Durji got melted, bro.
And then the over parlays, the 2 over 1.5s for Tyra and Edgar, and the over whatever. Park and Haparat, y'all can see it. They're all overs. I got busted on them.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm saying so.
Well, listen, at least you hedge on the Tyra one, which you're gonna get to.
Well, yeah. Well, the ones I hit. Let's hit those, baby. Had Alencar money line, kind of a fleecing. But
she lost that fight. Yeah,
you got to take it where you can get it.
Yeah,
I hit him.
We got taken away from Park, but they gave back to my brother on Alencar. She lost that fight, but you
close fight, split decision. I scored it the other way, but I ain't mad at a split decision. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's favorable to you when you're betting.
You gotta
100%.
you take them where you can get them. You know, robbery, baby. You feel me? Got Santos decision. Hit that. My only long shot. The Tyra KO plus 700, baby.
Payday, payday.
Hit that.
You want payday?
Only reason why I got a winning night because of that long shot parlay hit there. Well, long shot straight.
I should have taken that shit.
And then for boxing, the 3-leg mixed combat one, you know, Desires, KO, money.
Boricua.
Took that boy on the 5th round.
He's everything Edward Berlanga is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. Like I love
100. Yeah, I ain't trying to shit on Berlanga either.
I love Berlanga.
Yeah,
because he's one of our brothers here in New York. But he's where Zayas is at right now is what Berlanga is supposed to be.
We got 2 Puerto Rican dudes riding for us right now. We got Zayas and Subrius Matias.
That dude's a hammer, bro. Woo. He's a world champion.
They're riding for us. Well, Puerto Rico out here. You know what I'm saying? Also, Haney decision. Money, 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 and the Yadong money line. Hit that 3-leg parlay.
Payday,
Money.
payday. You want payday?
So I finished barely positive overall, but you know, like I said, you take them when you can get them. Know what I'm saying?
It was a dangerous card to bet on, low key, for a lot of reasons.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm just glad we have responsible betting there. I'll be honest with you, because look how much we bet, guys, and look how much we bet. My brother finished positive, and I barely finished below.
Yeah, not even a unit down.
It's
overall,
not. You don't feel that.
Yeah, no.
You don't really feel that. So I'm okay with that. With all the shots we took, I'm okay with that. But on to our UFC 297 card. What do you got for me, bro?
Oh, so UFC 296.
Oh, damn.
Banger.
I said 297.
I know you ahead of the time. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. 296 happening in Las Vegas, Nevada. In the T-Mobile Arena, 14-fight card, headlined by Edwards Covington. Not too many fights fell out of this one. The Dariush Armasarukian one, that one just got moved to the week before, right? Only fighter that fell out was Giga Chikadze, original opponent, Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett's still on the card. Now he's fighting
Bryce Mitchell. Which is a tougher fight in my... Oh, my goodness.
Top to bottom, solid-ass card. Hell of a way to end for the new year because ain't no fights after this for about a month. So... I'm ready to get into it if you're ready to get into it.
Yeah, I am. Let's do it.
All right, first fight we got, kicking off 296, early prelims. We got Randy Rude Boy Brown going against the king of Kung Fu, Muslim Salikhov. Randy Brown, 17-5, fighting out of Queens, New York, repping Jamaica, 33 years old, fighting the king of Kung Fu himself, Salikhov, fighting out of Russia, hailing from Russia, Dagestani by blood, 39 years old, 19-4 overall. Banger of a fight. I think it's a very good way to kick off the prelims, to be honest.
This card is crazy.
This card is nuts.
It's nuts.
It's nuts. I was going back and forth on this one for a minute. This is probably one of the first fights I did tape on, actually. I'm gonna pick Randy. I'm gonna pick Randy because one, he's got the intangibles. He's got the metrics, right? He's longer. He's bigger.
Younger.
He's younger. All that. Pause. Just gotta, preface that. Gun to the head. If you're asking me who's got the volume edge, I give it to him. I think he's got the sub edge. Salikhov, love him. 39 years old, moves like a 29-year-old. He has been slowing down a bit in his past couple fights, but he's still very quick to the punch, throws a tremendous amount of kicks, high kicks, low kicks, spinning shit, loves that shit. I'm gonna lean Randy here in a close fight, but at minus 250, I think that's where he's at, more or less. I don't know. This fight should be lying closer, in my opinion.
I agree.
I think Salikhov, very hard to get out. I think I don't know. This fight it's just an interesting fight where I think Salikhov is way more alive than the line indicates. So that's where I'm leaning. What about you?
By the way, guys, get ready because this card has a lot of that. This is a well match-made card. A lot of these fights, up to the main event, are very difficult to pick. So just please bear with us. Please be prepared. And we're going to try and find money for you throughout the week, because this is one of those cards where we have to see what these guys look like on the scale. We got to see how these guys look like faced off. We got to see what these guys are talking in their interviews, everything.
And this is the earliest where, just a heads up, ladies and gentlemen, where we're getting this podcast up. The goal is to get it up as early as possible. We got no props. Nothing. I'm looking at a money line. I don't even know what the over-unders are.
Correct.
Can't even tell you what the overs-unders are.
We're gonna find value, because in my opinion, I can't speak for my brother, but I feel like this card can really trash you. We have to play value on some of this, and we're gonna find it throughout the week.
The matchmakers definitely did their job with this card in particular.
Great card, very hard to bet on. But we're gonna get through this. So, but echo everything you said. But I just think the line is a little disrespectful against Muslim Salikhov. He might be a dog in this fight. At plus 210, I wonder if it's trending. We're going to check to see how the line is trending. If he gets up to like plus 250, I think it's an auto play, because I think their wrestling mitigates each other. Randy's the better grappler, but their striking is close. The only reason the striking might be a wash is because Randy's much longer than him. That's it. But if you want the real, Dalby was putting mitts on this guy. And the one thing I don't like about Randy Brown is his volume. He has the capability of putting out volume, but he likes to play very defensively. And it's crazy because you actually put me onto the stat, but Muslim is actually much more defensively responsible than he is.
Yes.
Which is crazy, because if you looked at how they fought, I wouldn't think that. But that's why I think Muslim is live, because I think Muslim is a much more volume guy. He throws way more volume. And the fact that he throws volume and has better defensive stats he's live. He's live as hell. But Randy's the pick. Muslim might be the bet, especially if he gets up to that 250 range.
All right, next fight we got here to kick off the early prelims. Well, not to kick them off, but to follow the early prelims. We got Shamil Gaziev debuting. Shamil going one-on-one with Martin Buday. Bryce. That's his nickname. The debuting Gaziev, 11-0. Fighting out of, I don't know where the hell that is. Bahrain? Out of Muhammad? Bahrain? I think he's Russian, but I'm not even sure. 33 years old. Going to one-on-one with Buday. Sometimes he fight like Buday, but 3-1. 13-1. Sorry, disrespectful. Fighting out of the Slovak Republic, 32 years old. I think the only heavyweight fight we have in the card, we got two of the biggest probably heavyweights on the roster.
This fight should probably be kicking off the card, to be frank. I think they probably just didn't want to have a snoozer, but this fight has the potential to be very bad.
Well, yeah, and I think that's why
it's the second fight.
It's the second fight, because I think there's a good chance, gut feeling, it probably goes over, only because of the way Buday kind of like paces his fights.
Yep.
This Gaziev cat, finisher. Likes to go to the grappling sometimes. Sometimes he'll keep it on the feet. He gets a hit a little too much. His entries are probably not the best. Buday, 6'5", huge man, hard to take down. Nobody's really tested his takedown. Don't know if Gaziev is going to be the guy to, have success or, whatever. I'm going to lean Buday here. Not with the most confidence. This is, again, low-level heavyweight. Both of these guys, or in particular Buday, I mean, he's on a 4-fight win streak. His most impressive win, maybe Kelleher. Maybe, he beat the shit out of Parisian. Lucas Brzeski, you could argue he lost that fight. Chris Barnett, he won via technical decision. He hit him with illegal strikes and got the win. Before that, in the Contender Series, knocked out Lorenzo Hood. I'm going to lean the guy with the experience here. At the end of the day, Gaziev's got to kind of prove it, but I'm not willing to really back any side, particularly with my money at the moment, only because, again, big sloppy heavyweight shit. If you had to ask me, I think overs hit. I still got to think about it. It's a little too early in the week. Again, another fight, I probably want to see them kind of like face to face and face off and shit, but that's all I got for this one.
And props like that. I think this is a fight where it's Gaziev early, Buday late. And if Gaziev's only been out the first to decision once. And by the way, for all the bettors on Gaziev, just based on what he did on the Contender Series, please be very mindful. He's only fought 3 guys with over 5 fights. 3.
Yeah.
And those guys are not really anybody. One was 17-5, the other one was 13-0, so we'll give them that one. But they're not really prominent guys on the MMA scene. Plus, Velasco only had 6 fights.
And that was his contender series.
That was his contender series fight. So
he got his back taken on that one too.
That's what I'm saying. Like Buday is big. Buday doesn't really get tired.
There's a chance Buday could probably finish if he ends up on top.
He could finish late, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think second, third round for Buday is live. First round for Gaziev is live. And I think depending on the line, like how it's spread in terms of like what the value is, we'll probably take some shots. Why not? Because it is a heavyweight fight. One shot can take it. And Buday is a guy who used to walk around at 350 pounds. And he looks really good at 250, 260. Moves well, doesn't really get tired. That's how I would play this fight. But this is probably the biggest 1-800 gamblers fight outside of one of the other fights on the card. I think it's the women's fight with Lipski and Casey O'Neill. But I think that one's less 1-800 gamblers than this one. This one might be a pass. This was the one you get up to go to the bathroom, walk your dog really quick, wipe your dog's ass, wipe your ass, and then sit back down and enjoy the rest of the card.
Not with the same wipe, by the way.
No, I hope
Different
not.
wipes.
I hope not.
Please. No pesticides, no parasites.
So, but yeah, that's exactly how I would play this. But we can move on to the next one. I don't want to spend too much time on this.
All right, next fight we have on the early prelims, we have Andre Touchy Fili, going one-on-one with Lucas Almeida in the featherweight division. Touchy Fili, 22-10, fighting out of Sacramento, California, 33 years old. Going one-on-one with Lucas Almeida, 14-2, hailing from Brazil, fighting out of Brazil, 32 years old. Another banger fight. This one, man, my gut is telling me Almeida. But on paper, I feel like Andre Fili has what it takes to probably win this fight. And particular, Andre Fili has what it takes if he keeps doing what he's been doing his past couple fights, the wrestling. Almeida can't defend a takedown.
No.
He can't. Glaring hole in his game. If this fight stays standing, Fili's chin, it might be paper bag. It might be.
I don't think so. Because he got tagged by homeboy his last fight, Nathaniel Wood. But Nathaniel Wood's also small.
Wood put him on his ass.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Lucas can crack, though.
Lucas can hit, man.
He can crack.
And they're two big guys for the featherweight division. I'm curious to see who's taller because they're both listed at the same height. I got a feeling Almeida.
Lucas is a little bigger than him,
I think so. Almeida might be a little taller. And Almeida might look a little bigger. I think he cuts more weight.
I agree.
So, striking edge, I give to Almeida. Probably power edge, I give to Almeida. I mean, Fili ain't a soft puncher. A novice on his feet either. You know what I'm saying?
He ain't a soft puncher.
But I think the key to the win here is 100% the grappling.
Mix in the wrestling.
I think if he can mix in the wrestling, last 3 rounds, I think he could bag this. He could bag this fight.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm with you on Fili. He has more ways to win. That's the only reason I'm picking him. But I tell you what, like I said, this is another fight. We play props here. We see what it is.
Yeah.
And we see what the second, third round finishes.
No props at the moment, but I'm telling you, if I see any kind of crazy knockout props on Almeida,
I'm taking it.
Definitely gonna sprinkle a little something on
He's
that.
plus money.
Yeah.
You got to. Like this fight stays standing, it's a 50-50 fight.
Yeah. And the thing about Andre Fili is like he's a guy that got all the tools, but sometimes he just doesn't put it all together sometimes. And that's why his record is kind of up and down, you know what I'm saying?
I like him. I felt bad for him, like with some of the losses he's had, because some of the losses he's had, he's been winning the fight, then he gets caught.
Yeah. Like you could argue that if he just, tucked his chin a little bit, he probably could have beaten Nathaniel Wood.
100%. That fight was scary to bet on. I just thought Nathaniel Wood at any number on the minus 200 was a good line. So
for me, this fight could end up like if you look at what's his name, Fili's last couple fights, this fight could end up either one or two ways. I think it could end up looking like the Brito fight,
correct,
where he lost and Almeida just dusted him like Brito did, or it could end up like the Charles Jourdain one, where he didn't let Charles Jourdain get any kind of offense off and just grappled that man for 3 rounds. So if you want to kind of like point a reference, just look at his past. Just depends on which kind of Andre Fili shows up, but I like Fili here.
I agree.
All right, next fight we got here on the prelims, we got the returning Tagir Ulanbekov going one-on-one with the surging Cody Durden. Ulanbekov, 14-2, fighting out of Russia, hailing from Russia, 32 years old, going one-on-one with Cody Durden, 16-4-1, fighting out of Atlanta, Georgia, 32 years old. Again, another well-made, well-matched fight. I'm going to lean, again, another fight I was going back and forth on, as you know. I think I'm going to, you kind of convinced me. I think I'm going to lean Ulanbekov. Couple of reasons. I think the jab could be a really big disruptor. I mean, if you're asking me who hits harder, you know,
Cody. 100%.
I think Ulanbekov might have the more technical striking. I think both of these guys on the floor can get really interesting because they both kind of wrestle, but in different ways. Obviously, Ulanbekov's got the Dagestani background. Cody Durden's got more of the American background. Cody, a little more, I guess, persistent in the shots. He'll reshoot and reshoot. A little more control heavy, but a little sloppy. Ulanbekov could catch him in the sub, I feel like. And Ulanbekov's a little more methodical in his grappling. And I think the sub upside is on the Ulanbekov side. So, I mean, Cody could be live here. Maybe early, but I think it's the fight.
Even late because Ulanbekov gas is late, man. But Cody kind of gasses too, though.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
If Cody, I mean, early on in Cody's career, he would gas, but it's because he was no gas, all gas, no breaks. He's kind of learned how to pace himself lately. Especially in those, I think his best win is probably the Charles Johnson win, where he kind of just like he showed up because I didn't pick him against.
There was so much shit talk leading up to that fight too.
I picked Charles Johnson,
and he out cardio Charles Johnson,
yeah,
which is impressive. I think Charles took that fight on last minute notice, but like still, like to out cardio him is crazy. And then the Jake Hadley fight,
and then the Jake Hadley fight was even more impressive than that. I think
he turned the prospect back. Yeah, I mean, no, they were both impressive, 100%. I think you want the real. This is. I like Ulanbekov too because I think Cody leaves his neck out there a little too much to be grabbed, and this guy's front headlock series is really, really good.
Yeah.
I will say it. He got one sub by front guillotine, but you got to look at all the other stuff he does. He's got to take in the back. The only thing that worries me about him, he's easy to take down. Hopefully he's shoring that up.
Yeah.
But what I will say is if the third round, this might be a live bet spot for Cody because if Cody Durden's getting his ass whipped for 2 rounds and Ulanbekov looks tired in that third round, he gets stopped in that third round. And Cody's the guy he's the dog. He's a dog. Yeah. Like he will dig deep to get a win. So if you pay attention in this fight and Ulanbekov's breathing hard with Khabib and Islam in his ear and he's like, shit, like I didn't think it was going to be this crazy. And Cody looks somewhat decent. You play Cody at like whatever line it comes out to at like plus 800, plus 900 if he loses the first 2 rounds. Because he probably stops him in the third. What I will say is that Ulanbekov is definitely the side here because I think he can bang 2 of the 3 rounds, to be frank. I think he's the better wrestler, especially from the body lock. Not like American style wrestling with like freestyle where you shoot in and you grab a single, double. But he's good from the body lock. He's also good at getting to your back. Yeah. Very good.
His scramble ability, I think, is a little underrated.
Correct. It's better than Cody's, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it is. And they're about the same size, so I won't say one has a size advantage over the other. But I think Ulanbekov fights bigger. He just does.
Yeah, I think he's smarter with his range. You know, again, that jab, I think, is going to be a great disruptor in the fight. So
correct. He also throws straighter punches down the pipe. So he's here 1, 2. Cody's more whipping hooks and trying to get over the top and hurt you. Ulanbekov's the side. This is another fight. I think I will probably play the sub, to be frank.
Yeah, if the sub is crazy on the Ulanbekov side, that's probably the side I'm going to play.
But outside of that, very hard fight to bet. We'll see what the lines like. It might be like a sub 2, sub 3, or even sub 1. Because to be frank, Durden gets into a lot of trouble in the first round a lot.
Yeah, a
lot of times. So I could see him getting guillotined in the first round. And listen, he should have lost the Hadley fight because anybody else that was human would have tapped out to that armbar.
I mean, he's got 3. Most of his losses are by sub. He's got 3 losses by sub, and in every fight, I don't think I've seen Cody Durden not in a submission.
It's crazy. Like he should have tapped to that Hatley sub. We had a play on that because it was like plus 1,600 for Hatley sub round 2.
Yeah.
And he got out of it. And I mean, dude, his arm, I'm sure his arm still doesn't feel the same after that because it was super hyperextended.
He had to take time off after that. They wouldn't give him clearance. I think he ended up, I don't know if he opted for surgery. I think it was just long rehab, but he had to take time off after that.
Dude, his arm was jacked.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Hatley cooked his arm.
Yeah. He should have tapped. He won the fight, so it worked out, but any other human would have tapped to that. But yeah, I think Durden is always the one more in trouble. And the Nacimiento win for Ulanbekov is more impressive, in my opinion, than any of Durden's wins. I'll be honest, outside of Hatley. Maybe I would say Nacimiento over all those guys that he beaten. So Ulanbekov, yeah, he's the lead.
All right, next fight we got in the light heavyweight division, still in the prelims. Alonzo Menifield, Atomic Alonzo, going one-on-one with the Hanyak, Dustin Jacoby. Menifield, 14-3-1, fighting out of Texas, 36 years old, going one-on-one with Jacoby, 19-7-1, fighting out of Denver, Colorado, 35 years old. Another good fight. Another fight where it's kind of like a prove-it fight for both guys, I think. Menifield coming off of an impressive, out-of-nowhere kind of submission win over Jimmy Crute. Their first fight went to a draw. I had Menifield winning there. I ended up betting Crute, thinking that he would make the proper adjustments because I thought he still had the wrestling edge. And Menifield came out and said, nope, this is me. Went subbed Crute impressively. Lost money on that one. Also lost money on Jacoby. His last fight was against Njekwu, right? I think it's Njekwu. Yeah, Kennedy Njekwu. Bet Njekwu there. And he came out, caught Njekwu early, clipped him, got him out of there with some ground strikes. Before that, I mean, the Azmat Mirzakhanov fight, I thought he lost pretty convincingly. Didn't look like he could take a shot there. That's why I was kind of on the Njekwu side in the first place. And before that, he ended up going split decision with Khalil Roundtree. You could argue he won that fight, but man, I'm gonna lean probably not with the most confidence. I think Jacoby probably should win this fight, but man, Menifield, if he even brings some of the grappling that he did against Crute, I think Menifield could be live.
People gonna bleed.
No, I thought that was a dog. Never mind. Well, you know what?
There you go.
Well, there you go. People are gonna bleed though, but I think Menifield might be live. I think Menifield is the dog, right, in this fight?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick Jacoby to win this fight. I think he probably should win this fight, but from a betting side, depending on what I can find here, because again, we ain't got no props, no nothing here. I'm gonna be looking to see what I can find on the Menifield side to bet, but Menifield might be the bet here. What about you? That's what I'm feeling.
I'm with you on Menifield. I think Jacoby, we gotta start putting some fucking respect on this guy's name, to be frank, because I picked Njekwu to fade him and he faded Njekwu. He's dealt with big, strong guys before and put work on him.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, I don't know. I feel like he's peaked and I feel like Alonzo is peaking still. Alonzo built like a brick shithouse, built like a Greek statue. If he really implements his wrestling in this match, it's gonna be it could be a short night for Dustin.
I think that's the key to this fight. I think if Menifield does any kind of grappling in this, I think he could win.
Correct. I agree 100%. And I think he's gonna be the lean for sure. I don't feel very comfortable with this fight, but
me neither. Because
I think Dustin he's just demanding respect at this point and he's earned it. But I would say Menifield's the lean. Menifield's the lean. Don't know how I'm going to bet this, to be frank. So,
all right, next fight we got here on the prelims, we got the returning Casey O'Neill going one-on-one with the Queen of Violence, Ariane Lipski. King O'Neill, 9-1, fighting out of Scotland. Well, fighting out of Queensland, Australia, hailing from Scotland. 26 years old. She does have some big Paul Craig vibes.
OD.
Going one-on-one with the queen of violence. Well, the queen of violence lately. Lipski, 16-8, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 29 years old. I think this is a good fight for both fighters. For Casey, I mean, she ended up getting the striking record. I mean, it got broke like a couple fights later by Andrade, but she ended up getting the striking record against her in her last fight. I think it was against Menifield. She beat the shit out of Menifield from pillar to post. Montefiori's a tough girl. And then ended up shortly after tearing her ACL. No, wait, so that wasn't her last fight, because her last fight was she came back to fight the other girl that's on this card.
Jennifer Maia.
Yeah. She ended up fighting Maia and losing to Maia in a close fight, to be honest.
Correct.
Lipski recently starting to put it together. I think her most impressive win, probably JJ Aldridge. Both her last fights ended in decision. The Melissa Gatto one, which is her last fight, ended in the split decision. I'm going to lean Casey here. I know my brother is probably not too high on Casey personally, but Lipski's just one of those girls where if she beats O'Neal, I think she's back in the talks for, like, you know, contender. You know what I'm saying? When she was in KSW, she was doing a thing. She came in with a lot of hype, but really hasn't shown anything crazy. What she has shown is if you walk forward on her, she kind of folds a bit. I wasn't expecting her to beat Aldridge the way she beat Aldridge. Aldridge kind of just like she just wasn't there. O'Neal, grappler, who has been slowly developing her striking. I think if she mixes it up on Lipski here, striking, grappling, puts the pressure on, I think she wins this fight probably pretty easily, if I'm being honest. But I think she's the favorite. I don't know how big. How big?
Minus 198.
198. Maybe a little too steep for women's MMA. Might be justifiable though. I don't think the line is
too disrespectful.
Too disrespectful, to be honest, either way. But I like O'Neal here. Don't know how I'm gonna bet it. What about you?
I will say I think this fight should be a little more closely lined. Not too far from this, but a little more closely lined. And the reason being is because I think Melissa Gatto is better than everyone that Casey O'Neal has fought outside of Jennifer Maia. I do. And Casey lost that fight. She had a decent performance, but it was pretty clear who won the fight. I'm going to be frank with you.
Well, I think it was like a slow start for her, but she kind of turned up towards the end. I mean, listen, Jennifer Maia is a bad girl.
She's underrated.
Yeah,
she's very underrated. And I thought she almost beat Viviana Araujo that last fight. That's how we played it, because she was a live dog in that fight as well. But I'm very high on Melissa Gatto. Melissa Gatto can crack. Melissa Gatto's jiu-jitsu is really good. And Ariane Lipski was able to control her in certain aspects of the fight and improve her fight-making decision because she switched camps. I just think at plus 164, I don't know if she's worth the sprinkle, but if she gets up to like that plus 175 range, 200, I think she's an auto play. Because I think at this level of MMA, women and men, I think there's a lot that can happen. Casey should win this fight, but Casey hasn't really impressed me. I'm going to be frank with you. Like, I still think she's learning. And she did have a very bad injury that I still don't know if it's completely past her at this point. Ariane does have good striking, and now she's implemented the wrestling and the cage control into her game. And if she can come up with a good game plan with the camp that she's in currently, I got to figure out which one it is. She can probably steal this, but I don't like the line enough. Casey O'Neal's the lean. If that Ariane line gets up to plus 175 and more, I think she's an auto play at least half a unit, even a quarter of a unit. But I think she can surprise a lot of people. So, Casey O'Neal lean. Don't know how I'm going to bet it.
All right, next fight we got on the prelims here at bantamweight. We got No Love. Cody Garbrandt going one-on-one with Boom, Brian Kelleher. Garbrandt, 13-5, fighting out of Sacramento, California, 32 years old, going one-on-one with Boom, Brian Kelleher. 24-14, fighting out of Queens, New York. 37 years old, I got some love for no love. I think this is a winnable fight for both guys. Sucks. It sucks a little bit because I feel like I am leaning Garbrandt here, which means I am kind of leaning against the New York boy here, Kelleher. What scares me about Kelleher is the fact that he ended up getting fusion surgery in his neck. A little scary. Cody Garbrandt, no chin. That should be his real nickname. Didn't have the most spectacular fight, his last fight against
5-star Jones.
5-star Jones.
Who's no longer in the UFC, by the way.
Got the job done, though. I think just Garbrandt, if he implements wrestling here, could probably keep it safe. And even in the stand-up, I think Garbrandt's got the faster hands. Probably got the better footwork. Kelleher, he's got that dog in him. I'll give him that. Does have some pop. Not the clean. I would say I'm not gonna say that he's not the cleanest striker. I just think Garbrandt is cleaner than he is. I know he likes to jump guillotine a lot. Don't think that's gonna work on Cody.
I don't think so either.
I think he's got to catch Cody first before he could jump guillotine on Cody.
Cody's wrestling is one of the most underrated assets in bantamweight history. Like, his wrestling's really good. He doesn't use it. It's crazy, but he can wrestle. He has that capability, and I think he can avoid a lot of submission attempts from Kelleher.
I think this is going to be another, I got to wait for the props to drop, because if there's any kind of crazy props on Kelleher, I'm definitely going to be sprinkling them. But
if there's any kind of crazy props on Cody Garbrandt knockout, I'm sprinkling that too. Because I think he can knock this guy out, especially after this guy got fusion done to his spine, man. His ability to take a shot might be stronger, like Yoel Romero, but it may not be. It might just be like a herky jerk, and his brain's going to get rattled a little easier, you know? So
yeah,
he ain't built like Yoel. I hate fading Kelleher like this because I like him, but
I do like Kelleher.
Cody Garbrandt is the much more talented fighter. He just is, you know, and unfortunately.
And it's scary backing him because he's got no chin.
Yeah, but Kelleher's
just got to land one on him.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if he can. So, I mean, just for that, I mean, again, speed advantage, footwork advantage, and I think he does have the grappling edge. I got to go Garbrandt here, but don't know how I'm going to bet it.
Same.
Next fight we got here in the prelims, we got Irene Aldana going one-on-one with Karol Rosa in the bantamweight division. Aldana, 14-7, fighting out of Mexico, 35 years old, going one-on-one with the 17-5 Karol Rosa, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 28 years old. I like Aldana here. I like Aldana early.
This fight's also very, I don't know why this fight is lined like this. I think people are just scared after the Amanda Nunes fight, but dude, it's Amanda Nunes, and this is a softball. In my opinion, this is a softball to Irene. I'll cut you off.
I wouldn't say it's an extreme softball, because I think if Karol Rosa could implement, because Karol Rosa is the bigger girl. She liked fighting at 145.
Yeah, she's
gonna come down in weight.
She may not even make weight. Irene either.
I mean, yeah, but. For Irene, some people are gonna say maybe, I mean, because she is 35, so maybe she kind of like semi got exposed by Nunes and now she's on the decline. I'm gonna say that she kind of just froze in the lights a bit. I think the spotlight got a little too big, but I think this is a coming to Jesus moment for her. I think she's fine. I'm willing to bet that she's okay. And now with Nunes gone, another opportunity, another kind of like goal for her to, like, you know, go forward, because I do think she's very good. She's one of the better bantamweights in this division. Karol Rosa, I think her only chance in this fight
is
clinch.
Put
her against the cage and beat her up.
Yeah.
I mean, Aldana has struggled historically with people who can pin her against the cage, you know, just taking away her weapons, because she's a boxer, you know.
But they usually have good striking and good footwork to get it there.
Yeah.
And that, like a Holly Holm.
Well, but the thing is, I don't think Rosa's terrible either. Rosa is a builder. That's why I think Aldana early. Rosa probably is going to look better later in the fight after, you know, round and a half, like round 2, round 3. I'm still going to lean Aldana here because I just think she's got the footwork. I don't think she's going to get bullied by Rosa here. I think she might, you know, be able to, I guess, strength to strength, kind of like match her. And I think Aldana gets it done probably by decision.
Yeah, I'm with you on the decision. You want the real? I picked Irene to beat Amanda Nunes because I thought she had the tools, and I still think if they fought again, she has the tools to beat her. She connected with one left hook in that fight, and you could see Amanda instantly react to it. She froze in the light. She was a deer in the headlights. I don't think she's washed. I don't think any of that shit. To be frank with you guys, and I don't know what my brother's gonna do, I'm pretty confident that she's gonna win this fight. I'm probably gonna parlay her. I think at minus 200, the line is getting smashed. So by the time you guys see this, it's probably gonna be minus 250. She's up to minus 225 on some books. I like her. I even like that number for her because I feel like this is one of the surer bets I could make on the card.
She's one of the more confident picks for me.
100%.
Because I think she's a bad girl, man.
Better boxer, hits harder. Karol's the slower fighter. Irene's got the better footwork. Her grappling, in my opinion, is underrated. Her wrestling's a little but Karol's not the best offensive wrestler. I feel like she's got it covered everywhere. And I think at minus 200, I might be willing to put 2 units to win 1 on her. I'm going to be frank with you guys. She's one of the more sure bets I have in this card. She's probably going to get parlayed as well. And
Rosa kind of struggles with speed. And you've seen that in her normal Dumont fight where Dumont was able to just give her some quick hands. And, Aldana's got some of the quicker hands in the division. So and that's why playing her by decision, that's why I might play her at minus 200. I don't usually make square bets like that. I try to keep it under minus 150. But at minus 200, I feel like it's a little bit of a steal. And I feel like I'm going to play it on principle because I think she's got it covered everywhere. And I think Irene, she could knock her out. That could happen too. That could definitely happen. I like Irene. I'm definitely parlaying her, probably with Shavkat, which we'll talk about later in this card. And I'm going to find another piece. It might be Ian Garry, which I dislike, but I feel like that's a good spot where those 3 I'm going to parlay for money. Because I feel like they're more the sure bets that I have on this card. But Irene, don't know how I would favor decision, especially after her last performance. She's probably going to fight safe and not want to get clowned, but she can knock her out too. So give me Irene by decision. All right, next fight we got here on the prelims, and as currently constituted, they have it as the main prelim before the main card. Great fight. Featherweight. Josh Emmett going one-on-one with the new opponent, Bryce Mitchell. Emmett, 18-4, fighting out of Sacramento, California, 38 years old, going one-on-one with Thug Nasty, Bryce Mitchell, fighting out of, oh my God, I just had a brain fart. That's Arkansas, right? Yeah. I don't know why I read Arkansas, but it looked like Arkansas to me. I got real dyslexic there. Anyway. What's the difference? Hey, they're both down south, right? Fighting out of Searcy, Arkansas, 29 years old. Emmett, originally on the card, supposed to fight Gige. Chikadze was a striker. He's going from an orthodox striker to a southpaw grappler. I don't know what I'm going to lean here. I think I'm leaning Emmett. As crazy as that sounds. It's very hard to take down Emmett. Emmett's got some pop. Emmett reminds me of Bryce Mitchell's last opponent. Was it his last opponent? Was it Dan Ige? Yeah. And I think, it was. But Ige was able to land damage on him, which is crazy. Yeah, it's, Bryce Mitchell, he won that fight, but. Was it a split? I don't recall. I'm going to check right now. That fight, I do not recall. Unanimous, but you could argue around there too for Ige. Thug Nasty got pop, he got leg kicks and shit. But I feel like all his striking is first of all, it's successful only because I feel like people are kind of worried about the grappling, right? So he's able to throw up those leg kicks. He's got some pop. It's his striking ain't prolific, but it's all there just to set up what he really wants to do in this grapple. Problem is Emmett, like I said before, grappler first, but grew up with the hands, developed with the hands. He's known for the hands, but again, tough guy to get down. And I know Emmett's older. I'm gonna lean, and again, not with the most confidence. I think I'm gonna lean Emmett here for the win. Yeah, I'm with you. They didn't even have the lines up for this fight. Actually, they do. Emmett's a plus 180. If he gets to that plus 200 range, I might play him, and I'm gonna definitely probably play his knockout.
And the reason being is because Bryce does have the leg kicks, as you said, but he is very hittable. And he does have a much, like, you ever try, there's two types of people you don't want that are hard to wrestle. People that are extremely tall because they feel like they're never going to leave the floor. And people, when you pick them up, and there's people who are short and compact that are very difficult to move around. Kind of like the same issues Islam had with Volkanovski in their first fight. Very true. Shorter legs, short everything. What I will say is that Emmett, I think people keep saying that he's shot. I think he's a little shot. I will say that. But if you look at who he's lost to, Yair Rodriguez, title challenger, his last fight was against Ilia Topuria, who's challenging for the title right now and has a good chance of beating Volkanovski, in my opinion. He's that good. I think we have to take a step back and realize that Bryce Mitchell is not a one-dimensional fighter, but he's more of a grappler than he is everything else. He's not that good of a wrestler. He's okay, to be frank. He's very good from the body lock position and getting him into his kind of fight. But this is probably, even though Emmett has lost a step in explosiveness, this is probably the most explosive wrestler he's faced.
True.
It's kind of crazy. And could he wearing him and get him down? Sure. I'm sure he probably could. But could Emmett land a kill shot at some point in the first or second round? 100%. And he can knock him out in the third too. Ige hits hard. Emmett hits harder. And I could see Bryce throwing like a lazy leg kick and Emmett coming with an overhand and just clapping him and knocking him down. Emmett's not the better grappler here, but you have to implement your grappling a lot of times, you have to have decent enough wrestling to get him to the floor. And Bryce doesn't jump guard. But even if Bryce does jump guard, I feel like Emmett's wrestling is good enough to control him and avoid submissions. Bryce is not doing the same amount of damage that Yair Rodriguez did to him on the floor with the elbows and all that stuff to set up a submission. It's not going to happen. Bryce probably could surprise you, but maybe not. I don't see it. He's never been someone that has like a dominant bottom game, even though he is comfortable there. But with someone like Emmett on top of him with the defensive grappling and the wrestling, I gotta favor Emmett here just because I think he has more ways to win, which is crazy. He does. And even though he might be a little step behind, I still think he has more ways to win in this fight, even though he's a shot. He's a little shot. He's just still the most explosive guy that Bryce has fought. And has all the characteristics to make this a very interesting fight, especially Bryce taking this on short notice. Very interesting. Emmett's the lean. Don't know how I'm going to bet it.
All right, now, kicking off the main card for UFC 296, we got Vicente Luque, the silent assassin, going against the future, Ian Machado Garry. Luque, 22-9-1, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 32 years old, going one-on-one with the future, Ian Garry, 13-0, fighting out of Ireland, hailing from Ireland, 26 years old. I think Garry is the side here. If this was Luque maybe a couple of years ago,
I agree.
Pre-brain bleed, you know what I'm saying? I'd have a little more confidence. But Ian Garry, I think he's gonna give him trouble pretty much everywhere. Luque probably wants to take this fight. If it stays standing, I think Ian Garry's got the footwork and the speed. If it gets to the grappling, I think Ian Garry's more than competent off his back.
He's bigger and younger too. Less miles on the less tread on the tires. A lot of things. Even though me and you both don't like him, I think he's a Conor McGregor ripoff.
I'm waiting to fade Garry.
100%.
I just don't think Luque is gonna be the guy, unfortunately. Give me Jeff Neal next.
Jeff Neal sparks him.
I think Jeff Neal's a very good matchup.
Yeah.
But you asking me right now, as much as I like Luque, I mean, can Luque make it interesting? Sure. Depending on how he mixed it up. I think he's just a little too slow for Garry. I think Gary's just better all around. And I wouldn't say
better. I think he's just bigger. Because if you want the real, I think Luque's an underrated wrestler. Mm-hmm. And his Bravo choke series, like everything he does there, like in that front headlock series and with the Darces, he's really good. The thing is, he has to hurt Ian to get him there, in my opinion. Now, the question is, how locked in is Ian this week with all the personal issues he has going around, with Sean Strickland calling out his wife and all the MMA fighters shitting on him for being sensitive about it? Because quite frankly, he's kind of a fucking bully when he fights all these guys. Puts Jeff Neal's mugshot on his shirt and thinks it's hilarious, and then says it was his wife's idea, but then goes along with it, even though he's fighting the guy, and then calls Neil Magny, the nicest guy reportedly in MMA history, like a child beater, even though, he just completely just took what he said out of context and forced trash talk. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was cringe. And now
On
Luque,
top of the fact that he just copies McGregor.
he copies McGregor.
Everything's going to be A-okay.
One day it won't be for you, bitch. I can't wait to fade you. I really can't. I think, and then you get kicked out of 3 gyms, so it doesn't look good on you. A lot of people are saying that you're not easy to work with. You come to practice sessions late. There's just too much negativity swirling around this guy. And then, of course, talk shit about all the welterweights. Doesn't talk shit to Sean Strickland when he sees him in person. Kind of turned into a little bitch. Says, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna sue you." Like, it just gets weird when you're a fighter and you do that shit. But then you're able to, you clown all these other guys. I would love to see where he is at. Even though I think he's gonna win this fight, I do. I hate fading Vicente against this guy, but I think it's gonna be a size thing, and I also think it's gonna be a youth thing. That's where I'm leaning with it. I don't think it's a skill thing, but I would love to see how he's talking this week, because if he's not completely locked in and Vicente's number swells up crazy, I might take a shot on him. Why not?
Oh, 100%. If he's unfocused coming into here, like, Luque is the wrong person to come
Unfocused against.
not 100% locked in.
I agree. I agree 100%.
But this is a proof of spot for Garry. If Garry comes in locked in, do you think a finish is out the realm here?
I don't think it's out the realm, but Vicente has been made a lot of good decisions. The RDA fight didn't take a ton of damage. I could see him being almost passive to a fault in this fight, which is crazy. I could see him being passive to the point where he loses a decision because he didn't do enough. Yeah. He didn't want to put himself in the line of danger. But I don't blame him either. It's like a better way to fight. And I hope, I would love to see what happens. And it's weird because Gilbert Burns trains with both these guys. So it's
there's a lot of just awkward shit,
there's a lot of crazy shit.
The press conference and all the media scrums, that's all going to be pretty interesting to see, just to see where he's at, because we already know where Luque's at. Luque's locked in.
He's locked in.
He's a man of God. My man just got baptized. He's loving life right now. He's just happy to be fighting again. It's going to be pretty interesting to see where Garry's at mentally. But if Garry's locked in, I think Garry wins this. That's all I really got for this one.
Agreed.
Next fight on the main card in the lightweight division, we have El Cucuy, Tony Ferguson, going one-on-one with the baddie, Paddy the baddie, Paddy Pimblin.
Another guy I don't like. Overrated as fuck.
El Cucuy fighting out of Ventura, California, 39 years old, with a 25-9 overall record, going one-on-one with Paddy the baddie. Paddy Pimblin, 20-3. I didn't realize he had that many fights.
He's a finished product, bro. He's a finished product, bro.
Fighting out of Liverpool, England, 28 years old. As my brother said, finished product here. I think you're right. You're 100% right.
Fighter.
We know what Paddy is. Again, another very good matchmaking. I said it once. I said it again. I don't think Paddy won against Jared Gordon.
Nope.
Tony Ferguson. This is like the shell, the ghost of Tony. Goodness. Unfortunately, Tony in his prime just kills this man.
Yeah, it's like as Ben Askren said about fighting Jake Paul in a wrestling match. It's a 187. It's straight up like if Tony fought half the guys he fought in his last 5 to 6 fights in his prime, he probably stops all of them.
Yeah.
But Neil Dariush gets stopped, in my opinion. I think Charles is the most interesting fight, but if Tony keeps that fight standing and is able to move around the way he used to, that fight's fucking interesting because I trust Tony not to break before Charles.
Oh, 100%.
And their primes. It's hard to watch Tony. Like now, he's one of my favorite fighters. So yeah. I'm clearly biased here, but I'm with you. I'm picking Paddy here. I just think that Tony is. He needs to retire.
He's gonna come in locked in. He's definitely gonna be locked in. Who was he training with recently?
He was doing training with David Goggins.
David Goggins.
Is it David Goggins? Yeah.
I mean, listen. Mentally, Tony unbreakable. Physically, his body is just not there anymore. His chin's not there anymore. Looked decent in his last couple fights early on against Bobby Green. And before that was a Chandler, right?
Yep.
He still has like
he still has greatness.
He still has like a good 5 minutes in him, man. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how he paces himself. Paddy, I mean, I don't as much as I don't like Paddy, I don't envy him.
Good grappler.
He's in a lose spot here, you know, because if he wins, you just beat a wash Ferguson.
If he loses, you
lost.
We knew.
Yeah,
we knew. Oh shit!
You know, it's gonna be a good fight. I'm gonna lean Paddy here. Does he finish him?
He might sub him.
Maybe by sub.
God, that's annoying. Yeah, I felt disgusting saying that out loud. Like,
yeah, this. Oh, God, man, I would love Tony to just win and then just retire.
This is one of the bets I would like to be wrong on.
Yeah,
I really would, and I agree. Just get that one and just
get out of here.
Man. You have nothing left to prove.
No,
in my opinion, he's
a Hall of Famer in my heart.
He's a champion in my heart too.
Yeah,
like I know they say interim champion, but I think in my opinion, it's him and Khabib, greatest lightweights ever, in my opinion. And just to add on to your point, the most alarming thing about Tony in this fight, 40 years old, and doesn't have the durability he had at one point.
No,
I have real concerns for him. I think he should just stop fighting. You're one of the best ever, and it hurts me to see you fall from as much grace as you've fallen from. So, Paddy Pimblett probably by submission, but Paddy Pimblett,
I'm not impressed by your performance
at all.
All right, featured fight, UFC 296, banger. We got Shavkat Rakhmonov, the Nomad, going one-on-one with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. The undefeated Rakhmonov, 17-0, fighting out of Kazakhstan, 29 years old, going one-on-one with the 17-6-1 grizzled vet, karate man himself, Wonderboy Thompson, fighting out of Simpsonville, South Carolina, and a very ripe 40 years old.
But it's still...
This is Bruce Lee shit.
Bruce Lee shit 100.
With him, 100%.
Good fight for both guys. I mean, listen, if Wonderboy thinks he's got a shot at any kind of title aspiration...
This is it.
This is the fight. Like, you can't avoid this man any longer. He's got to fight some of the young killers. He can't just have, he can't just fight Kevin Holland all day, unfortunately.
It's easy money. I bet the shit out of that fight. I'm on mad, buddy, because I knew Kevin was going to stand with him. Like, you can't stand with him.
And the shit is like Kevin had so many opportunities to ground and pound his ass, get on his, and he was like, you know what, nah.
Annoying.
Yeah, he kind of just sold that fight
what
completely. He said, nah, fuck it. I just want to strike with you, man.
I like Kevin. He's super talented, but it's like, bro, your fight decisions. I don't know.
He could have won that fight.
He definitely could have won that fight.
Yeah. Rakhmonov, he's the side for me.
Yeah, same.
Young, strong killer. I think, to be honest, like, I'm more hyped for him than I was Chimaev. I still think Rakhmonov's got that aura about him where I kind of think of like Chimaev is kind of worn off a little bit.
Yeah. Rakhmonov he's the better all-around fighter, in my opinion.
I think
he's not the better grappler and wrestler, but he's the better striker.
Better.
He does everything all around better.
I think better is a little. I would like to see both of them just fight each other.
Oh my goodness,
that'd be great.
But no. He's like I don't think Chimaev has his striking.
I think he's just a more patient fighter.
Correct.
He's
a good fighter.
He's more cerebral in his approach. Where I think Chimaev's more like a Wolverine,
a steamroller.
Yeah.
He
just wants to run you over.
Unlike, I mean, don't get me wrong, and people might say that he got semi-exposed in the Jeff Neal fight. I think he did to an extent, but if you want the real, I think Jeff Neal's a top 5 fighter at welterweight.
Yes.
I think if that's the guy, if he fought Ian, I'd be fading Ian.
Yeah.
100%. I think Jeff probably puts mitts on him.
I wouldn't say that Rachmanov got exposed, but I think Jeff Neal definitely was able to bring.
He rose his stock, 100%.
He brought so much out of Rachmanov.
We knew
so much out of him.
So many people had the unders on that fight, and I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, like this dude Jeff is a fucking menace. Bro.
Rachmanov had to he had to invent a submission.
Yeah, he had to catch him with something unorthodox to stop him,
to get him out of there.
Because that fight, you could argue, is 1-1 heading into the third.
Yes,
which is fucking insane. And I think
he literally invented a submission.
Shavkat, he had to do like the waltz like with him and hit him from the side like this. It was like a big brother choke.
Yeah,
it was like an inverted guillotine. It was like a bulldog choke, like an inverted bulldog choke,
but from like the side.
Yeah,
it was
it was nasty. But like what I will say is that Shavkat had a lot of those issues because Jeff Neal was a lot stronger physically than I think he estimated.
100%.
Steven does not have those physical prowess that Jeff Neal has on the inside. And once Shavkat, even though he's not a very good offensive wrestler, once he gets to that body lock, I think he's going for a fucking ride, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And at one point, maybe Wonder Boy 4 years ago, I would have said he could defend the takedown. Now, especially since his main training partner was Chris Weidman, and Chris Weidman is a shell of himself, I don't know who he's training with to get his wrestling and grappling correct. I got to lean Shavkat here as well.
No, 100%.
And maybe by finish, but I don't know because Wonder Boy's a tough fuck.
I'm gonna lean decision, but I'm definitely gonna be sprinkling on like round 2, round 3
sub.
If you think sub over KO,
it might be both. Just pick them sub.
I'm curious because I don't know. I'd
say sub.
I'm up in the air about it.
I'd say sub because Steven manages to weather a lot of ground and pound. Like he never really gets damaged on the floor.
Yeah.
He's typically gotten damage on the feet, which is surprising. It's because Woodley hits like a fucking tank. Pettis caught him with a surprise punch. And who was the other guy that really hurt him? Maybe one other guy?
Yeah.
But they're big punchers. Shavkat's he hits hard. He can definitely put him on his butt, for sure. But he's not like a monster puncher. Oh, Till, who's a natural middleweight.
True.
And unless you want the real, I thought Wonder Boy won that fight. He got fleeced in England. Let's just call it like it is. But he got fleeced. But
check them pockets. Bro.
Yeah, he got caught with a big shot. But Till's a big puncher. All things said, as overrated as he is. So I like Rachmanov here. Round 2, round 3, I will say if he gets him to the floor, he might sub him. But I don't know. It depends on where he gets him. He can get him to the center of the octagon, he probably subs him. If Wonder Boy's against the cage, he probably doesn't sub him. He probably doesn't. It probably goes to decision. But Wonder Boy likes to fight against the cage. He kind of has a strategy. That's why I think the decision is kind of likely here. Especially if that line is nice, I'll play it too.
All right, co-main event for the UFC Flyweight Championship. Alexandre Pantoja going one-on-one with Raw Dog Brandon Royval. And this is their second encounter. Pantoja about to get the Raw Dog twice. Pause. The Cannibal, Pantoja, 26-5, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 33 years old, going one-on-one with Raw Dog, Brandon Royval, fighting out of Littleton, Colorado, 31 years old, 15-6 overall. Banger of a fight. I think well-deserved shot for Royval here. That being said, if this fight looks anything close to their first fight, I think Pantoja rolls here. I think Pantoja is like next level.
I think Pantoja's the most slept on guy at 25.
Raw Dog
ever
is always going to be live.
Yeah.
Because he is insane.
He creates scrambles. He has good grappling. He has good striking. He has awkward striking. He doesn't get tired, puts a crazy pace. He's going to be the better cardio guy here. I just think Pantoja's wrestling, underrated.
Yes.
His grappling is fucking elite.
Yes.
And he dropped Brendan Moreno, who has a fucking rock chin. I got to go with the guy who I think has he's the bigger guy, and he has more of the better attributes. And listen, man, I think this guy, he would have been champion a long time ago if Figgy and Moreno didn't have.
I agree.
But I think he beats Figgy too, low-key. I think Figgy and him's a great fight. I would have loved to see it, but I think Pantoja presents a lot of problems for Figgy because he does everything good.
Yeah, Pantoja is just like, his striking, cerebral, you know what I'm saying? But he hits hard. He's not afraid to get in the pocket with you. trade 1-for-1, but like, oh man, yeah, I think Pantoja's the side here.
I agree. We might want to play that line sooner than later, too, because it went from -175 to -180.
What's Royval's number right now? Because I feel like if Royval's like plus 200,
plus 150.
Yeah, it's not fat enough. I feel like.
Yeah, you got to find value there, 100%. I like Pantoja at he probably finishes this fight too, low key.
5-rounder. Yeah,
I think
he got Royval out the first in the first fight in the second round.
Yeah, usually Royval's losses. I'm curious, how many times does he go to decision?
And he just looks strong. He like in the first fight, he just looked stronger on the ground.
Correct.
You know, Royval was able to like, you know, he did all his best to scramble and give Pantoja headaches. And I think if this fight goes, if Pantoja doesn't fight him, doesn't get him out early, maybe, I mean, Road Dogg's got infinite cardio. I can see Pantoja slowing down a little bit later, and it can get a little scary in later rounds.
But but that's the thing. His wrestling's so good.
Yes.
It's crazy because he was tied in the Moreno fight, and he still got to where he needed to get to secure the fight.
Exactly.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I think Pantoja is, we got to put some fucking respect on this guy's name. He hasn't defended the belt yet, but I knew he was a beast. The Moreno fight, I thought Moreno leveled up enough to catch him, and then Pantoja was getting a little older, and he just shut everything down. He won that fight. He did. And I had money on Moreno in that fight too. So I think Pantoja's the side. He might finish him, but I tell you what, at -180, I don't like square bets. There's another one of those where I feel like the value might be justified. Not as confident in this one as I am with the Irene bet, but I think he's going to win this fight. I do.
All right, main event. Leon Edwards, Colby Covington, UFC welterweight championship of the world. Originally supposed to be happening. I know Leon wanted this in England, but it's in Vegas, and we got Leon Rocky Edwards, 21-3, fighting at the United Kingdom, 32 years old, going 1-on-1 with the long-awaited, long-returning. I don't know if I even said that correctly. Chaos Colby Covington, 17-3, fighting out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. 35 years old. Excellent fight. Been going back and forth on this one. I don't know who's going to win this fight.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be completely honest. This is the only fight where I don't have a definitive answer. You're asking me right now. Right now, I'm going to probably lean Edwards.
I'm with you.
But I don't feel confident about it enough to like even, make a bet. Either way, I don't know. Does it go over? Does it go under? How do you feel about this fight?
I think it probably goes over. I don't know if it gets a decision.
Okay.
What I will say is if this fight was made immediately after the Kamaru Usman fight, I think Colby rolls here. I'm going to be honest with you.
You don't think the extra time is benefiting Colby right now?
I think it benefits Leon more.
Why?
Colby's a little older. Colby has been super inactive. And Leon's coming off of beating a guy twice who beat a guy in Colby twice. And here's the other thing too. Colby doesn't have the physicality that Kamaru Usman has. Leon's a big fucking welterweight. Now, to get into the X's and O's of this, in my opinion, Colby does in some ways present more problems for Leon than Kamaru did. And here's why. Colby, the better wrestler, in my opinion. He's the better open mat wrestler. He can shoot, get a single, get him down. Colby also threatens with the submission more. He does. He goes for rear naked chokes to keep you down. He knows how to work from the 3/4 mount very well. He knows how to work from deep half very well. He knows how to get to your back very well, and he's relentless with the takedowns too. I think he just has better takedowns, more technical takedowns than Kamaru. Kamaru is more of a physical grappler. He's a strong style grappler. He knows he just pick you up, put you down hard. Colby has a little better trips. Colby has better open mat wrestling. Colby threatens to choke more. If you want to roll Colby here, I'm not mad at you. I just don't like his inactivity. I don't like how long it's taken for this fight to manifest, because Leon has been able to make the proper adjustments and then get better from the wrestling that he's already established fighting a very similar opponent in Kamaru. And he's bigger, younger, peaking. Teddy Atlas always said, when you're a champion, you get 25% better. And I believe that. I think Leon has a clear mind for this fight. I think he knows exactly what he's dealing with. I think he knows he's the bigger guy. And to be fair, Colby, this is going to be probably the best striker Colby's fought in space. But with that said, I like Leon here. I might flip on this. I'll be honest with you guys, especially if this line gets a little disrespectful towards Colby.
Yeah, let me.
This is a pure dog or pass fight, low key.
I'm sitting crazy on the fence right now because like
I'm with you on the fence.
It's like because I know the time off bothers you. The time off doesn't really bother me too much. I think Colby is just one of those guys where if you ask me who's gonna mentally break in there first, I think it'd probably be Leon.
How crazy is that? Yeah,
like,
I agree.
Colby, he's very good at what he does.
Yeah.
I am worried about his chin.
People don't like him, but like this motherfucker could fight. He's fucking good, man.
I could see Edwards catching him, and like again, Colby's chin ain't like the best.
No.
But at the same time, like the wrestling is similar to Kamaru, but different from Kamaru. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a different style, like you were saying. And I think that
freestyle versus Greco, and then like the threat of the submission.
Yeah,
like that's why Colby. This fight, in my opinion, is hard. We called Leon twice on both the last two fights with him Kamaru, but that's because I felt like he could exploit some of the stuff. I think Colby's harder to exploit for Leon than Kamaru is. I think there's a tougher fight for him. I really do.
And like I don't know if this is a live bet fight or not, because the thing is like I feel like if Colby Covington is able to implement his strategy earlier, like early in the fight, like first round,
it's gonna be a long night for Leon.
I think he can get to Leon.
Yeah,
because I don't think Leon is the type of guy to follow a game plan. But man, I feel like he's one of those guys. If the going gets rough, the rough start get going. You see what I'm saying? Like not that he looks for a door, but he gets discouraged in there. Like you seen his last couple fights against Usman, you know?
Yeah.
Where he had his coach, you know, in his corner, like,
come on, Rocky.
Yeah.
Come on, Rock.
What's the phrase? I can't remember the phrase.
He's bullying you, Rock.
He's bullying you, son.
You want? I
just trying to get him focused up because, like, you can tell he was kind of getting discouraged by just like Kamaru's presence.
I also think, though, to be fair, because he was saying his body wasn't reacting, I think the altitude fucked with him in the first fight.
That's true.
It wasn't altitude.
That's true.
The second fight, I didn't see much of that. I think I saw a guy that believed he could win the fight. And he did stick to a game plan. The only thing I didn't like in the second fight, he shot on Kamaru and he gave away the round. That was the only thing. Will he shoot on Colby? I don't know, but I do think he has the physicality to deal with Colby. He could fight at 85.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
He's a big dude. And Colby, even though he's the better wrestler, I just don't like the amount of time it's taken for this fight to manifest. I also don't like the retirement talks from Colby, because I think if Colby wins this fight or loses this fight, there's a good chance, especially if he loses, he'll retire after this fight.
You think so?
Yeah.
Wow.
I do believe that. He's 35. There's a line for him, and now the TKO brand with the WWE. I think he'll entertain that. And dude, he hasn't fought.
That kind of scares me because I didn't hear about any retirement.
There's rumors. Yeah. It's not from him, but all I'm saying is the last time he fought was Jorge Masvidal almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's long. Well, again, the time off doesn't concern me that much.
It doesn't.
The opponent does.
It does me.
Because I mean, if your last fight was Masvidal, I mean, like no disrespect to Masvidal, I love him, but you know he's not a top 5 guy. No, not
at that point. No. But here's the thing too. That's what's alarming. The only guy who's beaten him in the UFC is Kamaru Usman, Colby. I do think Leon is probably the only guy in this division that can beat both of them. Maybe outside of Gilbert Burns, if Gilbert Burns got the run back with Kamaru as well. And Shavkat. So there's some guys, and Chimaev, but Chimaev's now in 85, so that's like a foregone conclusion. But I do think Leon has the physicality to deal with him. Leon's the lean right now, but if I decide to change and bet Colby, don't be surprised. That's all I'm going to say. I'm very on the fence about this fight too. Colby's a better wrestler. He just is. He's better than Kamaru. I just don't know if he's going to be able to deal with Leon's physicality. Kamaru presents that physicality for Leon, plus the wrestling. Colby just presents better technique, but no physicality. Especially if Leon wrestles into him a little bit. We'll see what Colby looks like. You know, there's a reason why Colby didn't wrestle into Kamaru, even though I think he's the better wrestler. He did take him down in the second fight too, by the way. I don't give a shit what anybody says. But the physicality with Kamaru wrestling back into him is something he wanted to avoid. If Leon presents even a little bit of a front and then goes to Colby's body with the kicks, the way he did with Kamaru and his legs, it could be a long fucking night for Colby. I agree. I think whoever gets their game plan going early in this fight, it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
It's gonna say a lot.
That's just the way I feel at the end of the day. Like, again, just because I got to make a pick. I am leaning Edwards, but I'm not confident in it. I am not confident. And by the end of the week, I could probably flip. That you're gonna have to keep up with us on social media to figure out which way we're officially betting, if we even bet this main event. To be honest, it's gonna be a good main event, 100%. But for me, at least, it's a little tricky. And I got to lean the champ. I got to lean Leon. But, I think Colby is more than live.
More than live. Honest. He could definitely win this fight. 100%. But Leon's the lean. Yeah.
And that does it for UFC 296. Banger of a fight night. Banger of a pay-per-view to go out on. Last UFC fight on the card. But
of the year.
Of the year, you're right. I don't know why I said of the card. It is the card. It is the last.
Well,
card
it was the last fight of the card too. So go ahead.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But there might be some boxing here.
So, ladies and gents, we have Jake Paul versus Andre August this weekend.
Ooh.
We also have David Morrell versus Sena Agbeko.
Who?
So, Jake Paul fighting a guy who I think is 10-1. He's a minus 650 favorite. I want to watch a little more on Andre before I make a decision on how we should go about it, if it's even bettable, to be frank. Jake Paul probably will win because he does hand select these fights, particularly with the high chance that he is going to win outside of Tommy Fury, even though you could argue he won the Tommy Fury fight. However, the David Morrell fight, I will say David Morrell should knock this guy out. I don't know who it is. He's a minus 1,400 favorite right now. I'm going to watch Senna just out of respect.
Yeah.
But David Morrell is probably the third or fourth best middleweight behind Canelo Benavidez and Charlo. Let's just keep it 100. I want to watch a little more, but Morrell should get him out of there. He should. Morrell's a fucking hammer. He's really good. Big puncher. Can't wait to see him and Benavidez in the future. We'll leave it at that. But with the Andre August, I want to do a little more fight studies before I give you guys that. But Morrell by knockout, I think, is definitely the play. Whether it's early or late, we'll follow us on social media platforms and we'll let you guys know.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be Jake by decision, gut feeling, and Morrell by KO, gut feeling. I'm there kind of research, but again, that's all I got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, those are matches set up to make those guys look good. Now, what I will say, guys, and just to close all of this out, this might, I don't want to rule it out yet because we might do a podcast on the big card that's happening in Saudi Arabia with Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder headlining. We may not. We might just release those picks on social media. But this could be the last podcast of the year. It most likely will be. I'll be frank with you. Me and my brother want to take the time to thank you guys for a very, very successful and lucrative year. We are above, we hit above expectations on a lot of things, subscribers, views, likes, everything. I mean, we are humbled by what you guys have contributed to the podcast as the viewers. And we hope that we have inflated your pockets to a high degree this year because we have made some good money this year. We have made some good picks and good calls this year. And if this is the last podcast we do for the year, you'll see us back in about 4 weeks, which is when the next UFC card comes back on.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice little vacay.
But we intend to return with some improvements, some changes, and we'll leave those all as a surprise. AOK Productions is the hot topic of this year for the family. We are going to bring some new content and some new material to you guys. And even though we did a good job, I feel this year for the podcast, we know we can do better. We are going to take it a step further. We're going to make this thing more accessible. There will be a lot of different implementations that we will be putting into play. And we are very excited to bring it into the 2024 year.
We got some things in the lab right now, cooking. Can't wait to bring it to you guys. Excited about the things that are, in the lab. And happy holidays, man. To be honest. If we don't see y'all for the impromptu boxing, y'all still gonna get the pics on social. That's pretty much it. I ain't got really much to say. You summed it up pretty good, my brother.
Yeah, listen, that big boxing card and Inoue fights that week too, so you can pretty much book that up to a knockout as well. But regardless, we're still gonna release pics on all social media platforms. Please follow us. Please show some love. Every subscription, every comment, every like helps. We cannot emphasize this enough. But we are humbled by what we've received this year from you guys. We've exceeded expectations. I did not think we would be viewership-wise as well off as we've been. And I am humbled and honored by, you guys giving us that love and helping to take this platform to the next level. With all that said, you already know the business. Logging out for the, possible last time of the 2023 year. Like, follow, subscribe, comment, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying the visuals right now. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to stay up to date. Y'all know the business.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. We hope to see you soon. Might be dropping a surprise boxing podcast next week. If not, see you in 2024. Follow us on the social media platforms where we're probably going to do some recaps of some of the bets we've taken this year, as well as some compilations of funny moments in the podcast. Holla at ya. Love ya. Thank you.